Look, I'm recording this when the Knicks are up 3-1 against the San Antonio Spurs. But look, everyone keeps talking about the Knicks and like how it's just a cool finals run. But nah, I think it's bigger than basketball. The Knicks are one win away from doing something New York hasn't seen in decades, since Walt Frazier to be exact. And honestly, this makes this whole thing feel different. This team isn't just getting hot. This feels like a like it's making the city feels like it matters in basketball again. Because for years the Knicks were basically a punchline. Bad contracts, bad teams, bad decisions. The fans hated the ownership. People were making jokes every season. Oh, you're about the New York Knicks? They suck. Or the Brooklyn Nets. Just the New York Knicks were one of the franchises that were like the Dallas Cowboys. They were the joke of the league. Here's the thing, right? Lots of Knicks fans still showed up during the J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Steve Novak, like this era of Knicks, right? A lot of people don't remember Emmanuel Quickly on the Knicks. A lot of people don't remember whenever Ty Lawson went to the Knicks. A lot of people don't remember this, right? But that's okay. Most fan bases disappear when the team gets bad. Knicks fans just got louder and more miserable. That's real loyalty. Maybe unhealthy loyalty, but loyalty. And now we're sitting here in the NBA Finals with a 3-1 lead, one win away. That's insane. The thing that makes this Knicks team, interesting is that it doesn't feel fake. I think one thing overall in this NBA Finals that really surprised me is how much people accepted their role, right? Not everyone can be Jalen Brunson. Not everyone can be Carl Anthony Towns. Not everyone can be Josh Hart. Not everyone could be OG Anobi. Not everyone could be that. And that's okay. It doesn't feel like some super team that was paid for and bought, thrown together overnight. It doesn't feel like a team that skipped steps. It feels like a team that got here through toughness, defense, chemistry, and just being annoying to play against. I mean, annoying in the best way. Because that's kind of what New York basketball is supposed to be: physical, ugly, emotional, crowds going crazy. And the way that I'm reflecting on this is that you need to find you a group of friends or a group of people that are like the New York Knicks, right? You want every possession in your life feeling like someone is fighting for that rent money, like the New York Knicks. That's why people are connecting with this team. They're not perfect, but they feel real. They feel genuine, right? Then you look at game four, down 29 points in the NBA Finals. Most teams sub their guys out. They fold right there. Most people like, okay, I won 2 games. The Spurs won 1 game. The game's over with. We'll come back. We'll win. It's fine. We'll just tie the series. The crowd gets quiet. The players start forcing things. Everyone tightens up. But the Knicks decide to come back. And that's the kind of game that changes how people talk about a series. Because now it's not just about the Knicks winning. It feels like something bigger is happening. It feels like one of those runs years from now, Knicks fans are going to remember exactly where they were when they were watching that game. That's exactly how I felt whenever, even if you was a Patriot fan during when the Falcons were up 28-3 in that Super Bowl, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that's what makes sports cool. You go watch a million regular season games and forget almost all of them, right? One of my favorite regular season games is Kings versus Clippers, and it was one of the highest point games ever in NBA history. But the rest of them, I forget. But games like this in the finals, this is memorable. This is going in the history books. This is up there with blocked by James. This is up there with 3-1 comeback. This is up there with the greatest comeback in a one game finals that I've ever seen, right? And for Knicks fans, it feels like all that suffering finally missed something. The OG Anobi tipping, that comeback, the feeling of Madison Square Garden losing its mind. That's the stuff people remember, right? And that's what I keep thinking about. Because sports is weird because logically, none of us play for the team. We don't get a ring, we don't get paid, we don't get anything. But when your team finally breaks through, it feels personal. Speaking as a Nuggets fan, like I felt like I was in a different world once they won. But if you've been, especially if you've been through the bad years, and Knicks fans outside of Linsanity, outside of Carmelo, outside of God Amari Stoudemire, like outside of that, man, y'all been through the ringer. Like Patrick Ewing, outside of that, y'all have had a lot of bad years, and I understand why this feels different. This isn't like a fan base just started caring because the team got good. Now that is a lot true for a lot of people that are rooting for the Knicks right now, just because New York is just a completely different fan base. New York has cared the whole time, even when they probably shouldn't have. I went to New York last year, and I can tell you there was a lot of New York Knicks fans out there, but even now it's even worse. But that's why this run hits harder than normal because when you've been embarrassed for years, winning doesn't just feel like winning. It feels like revenge. Not against one team, against every joke, every meme, every bad season, every time this they said the Knicks would never figure it out, and now they're one win away. But here's the thing: the series is not over, and that's what makes Game Five so interesting. Because a 3-1 lead sounds comfortable until you remember who's on the other side. The Spurs are not some random team that lucked into the finals. They have Victor Wembanyama, and when you have a player like that, nothing feels safe. And that's what makes this matchup so good. The Knicks feel like the veteran, physical, city on their back team. The Spurs, they have a future. Wemby is the kind of player where even when his team is down, you still feel like something weird can happen. Kind of reminds me of LeBron because he's not normal. He changes how the game looks. He changes shots. He changes spacing. He changes what feels possible. So as much as that this feels like the Knicks moment, they still have to shut that door. And closing is hard. This might be the hardest thing in sports. Everyone talks about getting a lead. No one talks about finishing. Because when you're one win away, the pressure changes. You're not just trying to win anymore. You're trying not to think about what winning means. You're not trying to imagine that parade. You're not trying to hear that noise. You're not trying to play scared. And that's why game 5 is so dangerous. Because the Spurs have nothing to lose now. They can just play. And the Knicks are the one carrying history. The Knicks are the ones carrying New York. The Knicks are the ones carrying 50 years of waiting. And that's why I think the finals is actually a perfect story for real life. Because you have the Knicks trying to end decades of pain. You have the Spurs trying to stay alive. You have an old basketball city trying to reclaim something. And you have a young generational superstar trying to build his own legacy. And that's real drama. There's no manufacturing storyline needed. Honestly, I think the Knicks winning would be good for the NBA. I know some people don't want to hear that, but it's true. When the Knicks are good, the league feels different. Madison Square Garden feels different. The media feels different. The energy feels different. New York basketball matters. And when New York basketball matters, people pay attention. Even people who hate the Knicks pay attention. Because that's the funny part. The Knicks is one of the most hate watched teams in the NBA. But that means people are watching, and that's what makes them very popular. And this run feels big to me. It's not just about Brunson Towns, OG. It's not about the roster. It's just that the Knicks aren't the joke anymore. And the way we could relate back to, this channel is that, You don't always have to be the joke. You don't always have to be, the punchline. You'll win someday. Just keep trying. And, if they finish this, the conversation changes forever. You don't talk about this Knicks era the same way anymore. You can't talk about this franchise the same way anymore. You can't talk about Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, like OG. Nah. Championship changes the entire memory of this team. All the ugly wins, all the close games, all the stressful moments. But if they don't close it, blowing a 3-1 lead in the finals would haunt New York forever. Because game 5 matters a lot. It's not just another game. It's the difference between finally finishing the story and giving everyone a reason to doubt again. So if I'm the Knicks, I don't want a game 6. I don't want to bring this back to New York needing another win. I don't want to give Wimby another chance. I want to end it now, slay the dragon. No more waiting, no more playing around, no more assuming you'll get another chance. That's the lesson. They had to fight for everything. They have one more fight left, one more win, one more night. And if they pull it off, Knicks fans are going to be impossible to deal with. Honestly, after everything they've been through, they probably earned it. Thank you.